Hello friends, it's Sherry. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel, Turquoise Dreaming. I'm here today to share with you a couple of things I've put into my Etsy shop, which I've done before, and I've been doing the last few Saturdays. So yeah, I got some little fun bundles. I had planned, I kind of had planned on what I was going to get together, and I got together something else as I was cleaning up my craft room. I thought, well, this could be good. So when you see this video, all these things will be in my shop. These two right here. Now last Saturday I showed you some seam binding, the little like, what is it, like 1/2 inch wide lace seam binding, and I put some of those in my shop. Some of them are gone and some of them are still there. So if you want one of those, there are still a few there. And then two more listings I put into my shop. So let's see, let me show you this one first. Two more fun listings. So this one is also called seam binding, but it's not the lace seam binding. It's like the ribbon seam binding, and none of these have been used or opened. But like I said last Saturday, it doesn't mean that the packaging isn't worn. So, but as far as I could tell, like, I didn't try to open any of these because I believe that they were never opened, and I wouldn't want to. Then I would have to say they were opened, right? So I did not open any of them, but these are all in one listing. And so then you choose which one you want. And I listed them by the color that is on the package. Like this one says, I probably put Copen Blue 227, something like that. If this whole thing would fit in there, I would put the whole thing, probably 201 Copen Blue 227. So just to explain, when you're looking at the drop down menu to choose a color, how I listed them. Like some of them, that's probably the longest one. This one just says it looks like 90 wine, so very simple on that one. But they see how they all say seam binding, but it's just the ribbon. It's a flat ribbon seam binding. This one is called Rose 67, Orchid 58. So they're like flat ribbons, and some of them are kind of like, grosgrain ribbon with the little ribs. Some of them, this one's like that. This one has some other kind of little design on it. I mean, they're all very useful and very, very, I use them for tie closures or tags or just whatever you might use a ribbon for, So this is Canary, or 529.3 Canary, Navy 55, Tan 73. See, now this is an example of how the packaging is worn away here, actually on the top and the bottom, but I don't believe any of this was ever used or was really ever opened and taken out to use. So Red 65, a oyster or something. I have a brighter light in where I do my listings, and so I'm able to see a little bit better. Brown 34, Black 31, Tan 73, Brown 92, and looks like something like B, whatever, a number, and purple. So yeah, so fun colors, a bunch of those I have listed already that are in there. So yeah, I don't have endless stock of these. So if you did want any, I would say, get over there and get them. And then this one is, these are called hem facing. So these are like the lace seam binding, but they're wide. So it says, on one of these it says the width, let me see, 1 3/4 inches wide. So something like that. They're all about the same. 1 3/4 inches wide. Oh, and by the way, well, all of the seam bindings say 3 yards on them. These little seam bindings that look like ribbon, those are 3 yards. And these all say, besides the 1 3/4 inches wide, they say 2.5 yards. So, but again, I listed them the same way. Again, they're all, original packaging, never used, never opened. And I listed them with the color here. Like this one's, I'm not going to say the number, but this one's, I'll just say the color that's on here. Adam red, black, bayberry red. That's like a burgundy, or maroon. It's more like maroon, I would say. Bayberry red. I don't. Burgundy is a little. I picture it as a little bit brighter, with more red in it, and maroon is a deeper kind of burgundy that has less red in it. So that's what this looks like to me. Just to explain, in case, in case, orchid, white. There's another Adam red here. If there was two, I didn't list that I had two. Just if one is sold, I'll replace it and renew that one with the, the second one that I have here. So I have two of those. And two, okay, I have two whites. No, this is black. What am I looking at? That's black. I guess I was thinking about white, because white, you can always dye, or at least try to dye and see if it will dye a color for you, whatever color you might want to dye it. Maybe you have some red dye, maybe you want to try coffee dye in it. So white is good to use as white, or if you want to experiment with trying to dye it. I say trying because sometimes certain things are, take longer, or just don't accept the dye so easily, so you have to work with it a little bit. I've done that before. If it doesn't like dye within a few minutes, say some things just dye real quick. I mean, it's like dip it in there and it's colored, right? And some things I've had to like soak overnight, and like you are going to turn colors, you know what I mean? Get a little more forceful with it. So yeah, that's how I handle that. If it doesn't dye within like the first few minutes or the first hour or something, I just let it soak in whatever the color it is overnight, and then it usually works. So I've got two little fabric bundles here, and I was going to do like a fabric bundle like I've been doing the last couple weeks. And then I was cleaning up my craft room, and I was cleaning up the fabrics from my the boho-ish flea market journal that I made. So I was putting away those fabrics. I did want to make some bundles from those, and I might make some more. We'll see. But in the meantime, until I get to make more, I made these two little, I'm going to call them scrappy bundles. And scrappy bundles, I think, are fun because some people are afraid of cutting up things into little pieces, right? So when somebody does it for you, then you don't have that anxiety of like, oh, I'm going to cut this up. You know what I mean? I can't do it. It's already done for you. So no stress, right? So you've got a little, there's two bundles. They're both pretty much the same. I've got a coffee dyed strip of kind of gauzy white fabric that I coffee dyed. Okay, each one has a little ruler. This is a little green one here, plastic. It's advertising ruler. This one is 7 inches long. And then I guess I won't show you, well, we'll see what I show you. I'll show you in a second. But here's a little kind of embroidered piece that I used a piece of this. I used a little one that I fussy cut around the flower and used it on my flea market journal. If you want to see how it looks, you can either look in my Etsy shop or on my video where I did a flip through and see how this looks fussy cut and put on the front of a journal. But that's what that was, exactly the same thing. There were a few of them on this linen that I cut up, and so that I put one in here. I also used this is from the linen that I used on the back of that journal, the white linen that looks so pretty. So that's a piece of that. That's really pretty. And I showed you these in my Thrifty Thursday, and I told myself I should keep them, but I just decided, I'm trying not to. I mean, a lot of things I bring home from the thrift store, I buy them for myself to use, but I also buy them for my Etsy shop. So I'm telling myself that I bought these for my Etsy shop. So they went into these packages. They're these really beautiful vintage looking. I don't know if they're vintage or what. They look vintage. They probably are. They have a little snap here. They're little collars. So they would have been going on a dress or something like this. But these are great because of the color. And they have little, if you wanted to, you could cut pieces like this. You could leave it as a whole, or there's little flowers in here, all around here, up in here. there's little leaves and things that you can cut out. Plus, they cut those little pieces out too. So just depending on how you might want to use it. I see a string here. But yeah, I did put that in there, believe it or not. And then this was just a couple of pieces that were on those fabrics that I put in here, just a kind of a gauzy white fabric. And mostly a lot of these I cut out with my pinking shear, so you can see the pinked edge there. So that's kind of a flat kind of gauzy fabric. As you can see, it's smooth, I guess I should say. And this is like a crinkly one. It's really pretty. It was part of that same thing, this same linen here. It was just another layer. It had a couple layers. And so this is a wrinkly white. Isn't that pretty? I think it's really pretty, and you could probably try to coffee dye that. And it might come out really cool with these. It's just it's not wrinkly because it's wrinkled. It's naturally, that's how the fabric was. That's how it's supposed to be, if you know what I mean. So that could be really pretty coffee dyed, I think. And then here's a piece of this that you can cut up. This was one of the dresses, I think, if I remember right, what I cut all these pieces from. But it has 2 layers. You see, like that. It's 2 layers. So you've got this piece here with the gold on it, and then back here, let me see how it looks on this side. Here's well, let me turn it this way. Let's see what it looks like over here. That was probably inside out, like the garment. This is inside out where you see the inside stitching. This is right side out. So here's the gold again. Actually, it's prettier on this side, isn't it? You've got like silver and rose looking gold here on this fabric. And then this is how this side looks. It's got these 2 little pieces here. So that's one. This was the pillowcase that I used on the inside of my flea market journal. A piece of that. This is all I had left. I had like 2 little pieces. Put one in both. I used all of that on that, pretty much all of it on that journal, I think. If I have any left, it's just little pieces like this. Here's a string or a thread. But a piece of that. Here's what it looks on the other side. Okay, and a piece of this very boho-ish looking little piece. This is what it looks like on the back. And the front has all the little beads on here. And you can see the pretty colors. It's got sequins up in here. There's some little beads right here. Sequins here. Like gold stitching through here, and some little mirror looking things right here. So very pretty. This is another kind of embroidered piece with just lots of beads and sequins and things like that. So I gave you, I mean, I'm calling it a scrappy bundle, but I mean, these aren't huge like pieces that you could use on a journal cover, but they're certainly good sized pieces, right? They're good sized scraps, I would say. Some of them. So that was a piece of that dress with the sequins and beads and everything. And this was a plain piece. Just, you can see how scrappy they are. That's just what it was from the dress. Like that was from the sleeve or something. Here's a piece of this one. Very geometric. And then a piece of this with the stitching. This is stitching here. Black with kind of like beige stitches all over here. That's actual stitches. So here you can see the thread on the back here. That's actual thread there. So it's actual stitchery, and that was a dress or something like that. Piece of clothing. This one I didn't want to give up. This is all I have. I had 2 little pieces, I believe, and it opens up like this. But I thought this was just see this burgundy piece has gold on it right here. Almost looks like gold paint. It could be, I don't really know. And then this also looks like gold stenciling over here on this piece. And I used, I think I used a piece of this for a ruffle maybe in my flea market journal. I tried to use it up here. If I didn't use it on the cover, I tried to use it inside the journal in some way, like as a ruffle or something. Here's another burgundy piece of fabric. This is some of the fabric with it's like tan with white polka dots. There's a piece of that. And a piece right here, another piece of that. And a piece of this, more stitchery with mirrors, very boho-ish, or whatever you want it to be, flea market journalish. But yeah, this is that fabric in the background, but this is a plain piece. It's the same fabric on the background on this, but with all the stitching on it. So you can see what you can do with it if you did want to do some slow stitching or something with it. You can turn a plain, kind of plain piece of fabric into something very beautiful, right? I know you know that if you do slow stitching or any kind of stitching. This is another piece with a burgundy in the background, and this is all like, looks like stitching on there, some kind of, I don't know if it's like here, this is that gold kind of looking paint, these little little twirlies right there, and then this all looks like stitching, like embroidery, and in between that is actually some of that gold looking paint. So yeah. This, I used a piece of this on my flea market journal on the spine and on the tie closure. So there's a strip of that, long strip of that. I thought it was so pretty, and I noticed it didn't really show up in the camera when I was rewatching my video after I made my flip through. That this is black, and this is actually a pretty bright blue here, and it wasn't showing up in the camera as bright as it is, but it's kind of, I'm going to describe it as a, let me hold it closer, maybe it'll show the brightness, but it's and I'm moving it around a little bit in the light here so you can see maybe the brightness of that blue will show up, but it's kind of a bright royal blue, so very pretty. And then here's another piece of plain burgundy. Okay, just a little piece of that. And I'm going to go through the other one, but I'll go through it really quick. So I went through the little goodies on top. You saw the ruler, and what else? Oh, the most special thing is probably that lace collar, to me anyway. Then I did put a couple of patterns. I've been putting my tattered patterns in here. So you can try to fix these and use it as a whole, or you can cut out the very vintage ladies here on the front cover, or the front of the envelope. So the envelope is here, but you can see it's very tattered. It's actually sealed here with a flap, isn't it? Or does it have a flap on the bottom? I don't really see a flap, but it's actually halfway sealed here. Is that, there's no tape on there, but anyway, it's torn, you know, and tattered, but these ladies can certainly be, there's a tear right up into this lady's dress a little bit, but I would, if it were me keeping this, I would probably cut these ladies out and just, you know, you can glue them down on some cardstock or just a coffee dye piece of paper or something like that, and just glue that down. You'll never know. She was, well, you might know, but you don't really know that, notice it that much, that she actually has a little tear right there. But I think they're super stylish. And it's a is it a Simplicity? I thought I saw Simplicity on here. Yeah, here it is. Simplicity on this one, 25 cents. So I think that's probably pretty old. I never can find the dates on here, but here's the back. And in here is some, let's see, we've got tissue and instructions. Well, everything is in there, I guess. I don't know. That's what it came with from the estate sale. So that is in there. So that's that little bundle. So when you see this video, you know, it will be in my shop. But yeah, that's the special extras, I guess, in this one. Besides the fabric was the ruler, the vintage lace collar or crochet type collar. It's not really crochet though, it's kind of more like lacy. And the pattern, you know, I've got threads everywhere, little fibers. Okay, so this one is pretty much the same. I'm just gonna show it to you so you can see, like, when you, if somebody orders, I'll just, you know, send whatever one is available of these. But this one has a white ruler. Again, they're all advertising rulers, these little rulers. And so just this little bendy one. That other one was hard plastic. This is a little bendy one, and it's 6 inches. And so you can see the same things that I just showed you. Let me see. I'll see if anything's different. I don't think so. So here's that white, the wrinkly one, you know, naturally wrinkled. This little piece here that I said was inside out, and I turned it around for you. So it's the same, pretty much. I mean, I tried to do the same sizes in each one. So little piece of that. The pillowcase, this one with all the boho-ish colors and everything, so pretty. This one with the stitching, see how it's about the same size. Little beads and everything on that one. Sequins, the plain green one. This graphic one, the black with the beige stitching. This one with the painted, what I call the painted and stenciled piece here. That piece like that. Plain burgundy. The one with this, I guess it's tan with the polka dots. You might not be able to see the polka dots on there, but there are polka dots on there. They're like lighter tan. Tan and lighter tan on those. Here's the one with the mirrors and the stitching. Burgundy strip there. The bright royal blue piece. The other burgundy with the stitching. And it had the gold paint on it too. And here's the pattern in this one. So this one has the two stylish, I'm going to say two teenagers, or she looks like a preteen and she looks like a teenager. Cute little outfits. This was $1. And it's a simplicity. It's, I'll show you the tattered bits on here. Like here's a rip there. I mean, it's tattered down here. It's got its little flap here, but you know, tattered. Here's the back. It's got some tissue and instruction in there, but it is, I think I would almost try to flatten this one out, like cut this out if I wanted to make it into a journal. I would give it a try and try to glue it down. And, you know, you could always put a little something, a ruffle or a cluster or something over this name right there, a little cluster. If you can picture that, cut this out, glue it down, flatten it out. You could Mod Podge over it or do a light. I have a spray Mod Podge that I would put over something like this, or you might have something that's your favorite thing to seal something with. But yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential. And if you didn't want that, you could always cut them out, right? And they're perfect to cut out together. They don't take up that much room, so you can really fit them into a journal nicely, or on a big tag or a journal card. So yeah, or a page. So lots of potential in these little bundles. Hope you enjoyed, and yeah, so I will see you in my next video. That's all for today, and I hope everyone has a great July 4th. Have fun, but be careful, right? With the fireworks, if you're doing fireworks. And so yeah, don't get in trouble. If they're illegal in your state, they are. And if you're not in the US, just have a great weekend. So I'll see you in my next video. Everybody have a great day. See you later.